Turn 53. This turn is definitely the turn of the artillery. He opened up with every single gun he had, and he's taken my advice by the look of it, and he's limbered some guns up, and they're on the move up here, towards the windmill knoll, around Sir Palin. So yeah, he's taken my advice. He's withdrawing from this area up past, sort of north of Eylau. It looks like he's going back there across the board. I dare say to regroup and do as I told him and give him a vote. Happy days, that's up to him, don't mind that at all. He moved some cavalry up here. I didn't really do much. Down in the south, again, he withdrew his cavalry. Pretty brutal on any cavalry that was out in the open. They got hit by pretty much all of these guns, and these are devastating guns. I'd love to take them out. Hopefully this turn, these guys here, kind of anonymous, up from behind. We'll get rid of them first, hopefully. Yeah, so around Eylau, didn't have much success because he is now following this "you cannot disorder" rule. Now, technically, I didn't want to complicate it for him, but in our house rules, you can't melee with a disordered unit, full stop. However, there's a caveat to that. If they are in command and everybody, okay, we've got a major general there, but if you've got all your brigadier generals and your subordinates and division commander in the same hex, you can. We say, okay, well, look, the commander would have got maybe small pockets of that unit. They would have got them together, some platoons, maybe some squads, and actually been able to melee. Maybe not everybody, but more than, say, a sergeant or a lieutenant would, or something like that. So it's not hard and fast, but just to make it easy. In this one we say absolutely no disordered units can attack, and he seems to be following that now, and that's good because he seems to be caught in no man's land a little bit. The windmill knoll, surprisingly, he did have an attack with these chaps, and they didn't become disordered, and he fired with pretty much everyone on them, and they held their ground. Hopefully that's because we've got a marshal nearby, so they need a bit of help here, and that's what my plan is to do in this turn. And I'm going to go ahead and get everybody ready, and see you in a few. Okay then, so moved everybody pretty much as I could do, ready for attacking in this turn, and we'll start up in the north as we always do around Althoff. And I don't really have anybody to attack here apart from some artillery, which I am going to get straight on with. And who's he got there? 80 and 90, but we will take those dragoons. Nice. And can they fire on them? No. So what I'll do is turn them around for next time. I'll put out a skirmisher line by the riverbank just in case he tries anything through the woods. I'm surprised how strong I am actually on this left wing, and they're all fresh troops as well. Mind you, we're going to have to deal with Prussians, and we do have these guys coming as well through this river crossing, so they can come up, and artillery, and we also have a supply wagon coming up as well. Yeah, we've got a lot of fresh troops here, quite strong over here. Let's move one of the skirmisher units down the river, and carrying on bringing that cavalry the long way round over that river, just to meet his cavalry, and then bring them up to this nice wide open space here, providing he doesn't have even more cavalry and more guns, which would not surprise me. Around here, just had a bit of a tidy up. We'll get on with some artillery where we can. Where are we? Yep. Okay. Routed troops, a little bit unfair, but it's as good a target as any. I think it was the only target we could actually get. These guys can see some. Okay, got a 60 and a 50. We'll have a go at that 60. They can see. Yep. Okay, good. I don't think we've got much cavalry actually lined up to attack. These guys, what we got there? 300 and a handful. Yeah, I think this might be just the last the last attack here. Only get too far ahead. Just to be sure they've gone, and they're going to stay gone. They wasn't the best. They're disordered, so they can fire. Yeah, and cavalry-wise, I don't think. Okay, we'll charge these routed units with these chasseurs of cheval. Overrun them. Good. And I don't want to bring my cavalry too far forward if he's bringing a few guns up. So I think what we'll do is slowly bring them back again. So what I'll do is, because I can't attack there and it's boring to watch me move units, I'm just going to move all this cavalry back to where they were a few turns ago, sort of behind these squares in this area here with the mouses, and just to reorganise them all and keep them there just in case he tries anything again. So round Eylau. He tried to take these guns without any success, so what I'm going to do is turn these guns around and blast him there. And he got this unit behind. There's not many of them. I can't melee with them, but I can fire with them. And then left, I can fire. So hopefully that's enough to send them packing, I hope. We do have some skirmishes here as well. Some counter fire, yeah. Okay, and some more. Put the guard into line formation because they undisordered themselves, which is good. Just really brought them up for one more hex just because I think that would be open sight for this artillery, which, yeah, can't fire on them anywhere. Sort out these guys, can't fire behind them. Same again, the bottom unit. Where else do we put these light troops in line? Now, there are not a lot of them. They are they isolated? No, I would have thought they might potentially be isolated, but they're not. Nice. Oh, volley fire. So he's coming up with some guns, got to be wary of that. I'd love to have quite a bit of cavalry here, but I've only got some squadrons of chasseurs of chevals, and I kind of need them to protect the flank up here for this windmill knoll. Okay, so moving on. 2 guns on this bunch. And I'll go there. Don't think we fired with these guys here. No, they're still good to go. And they decimated them. Absolutely decimated them. And then we've got the guard in line, ready for a volley as well. Okay, not the greatest. When he moved these guns into position, he lost 2. He lost one when he got there, and then when they unlimbered, he lost another one as well, with some very good counter battery fire, automatic, I must say. It wasn't me doing it. So we'll see if he won't lose another one. No. Because the howitzer. Third time in the game. You'd have thought I'd remember by now. Okay, so these troops here, we're going to have to try and push these back. 300s. We've got a division general in there. I'm going to push them back. It does, it's good. Okay, they're only disordered. And annoyingly, my cavalry's facing the wrong way. So I'm going to put 3 squadrons facing that way to cover anything here. And just in case they break through the back, I'm going to leave them here. I might just bring them up as well. Carrying on bringing troops around this side, this way. I am going to keep these... It's a bit of a hard one, this one. See what the volley fire brings. So I want them to stay ordered. I don't want to get them disordered and bunched up here. A, because of the artillery. And B, he's following up with these troops as well, and they look fresh. So we need a little bit of semblance of order to actually deal with them. I'll tell you what, I am just going to go for them. Not bad. And then fire on them from behind. And with some skirmishers. Probably get a little bit of protection from that wall, yeah. Skirmishers and skirmishers. Not bad. I think they'll probably go though next time, if I'm completely honest. So I might bring one of the brigadiers out. Where did we get to here? So brought some fresh units forward to. I know they're tired, but try and while away and chip away at all these batteries. We've got 10 guns here and 500 men. This might not work now. My idea was... didn't realise they had so many. Let me just think. My idea was, they weren't disordered, obviously I wouldn't bring them right up if they were. They've got disordered on the way and they've left me quite vulnerable. No. Oh dear, whoops. Fire on them from behind, best of a bad situation. They're disordered now. They are good to go. See who we can get with artillery first. So I might turn these guns around here. I'm ready for the next time. These guns, can't see these guys. They've got to go as well. That's a dangerous hex that. It's been causing me quite a few problems. I haven't managed to take it yet. So I am going to give them everything I can. Try and make it as easy as possible for... I think these chaps can have a go. They can indeed. So they are. Going to try. We'll get a leader up there. San Hilaire himself. See if we can't finally take this hex. Nope. Okay, fair enough. Get these guys, hopefully. Crossing the river, so we'll get a bit of a penalty. But we manage it, so they're still disordered. Like I said, I don't want to push too far forward. See, they're isolated. I'm going to bring them back a little bit. I want to rest up as many troops as possible, ready to sort of get organised and then start an assault up here. They see that whole square, yeah. This artillery here can also see that square. And again, square. See, that's more realistic, that kind of hit. I mean, as I've said before, earlier on, a square was extremely vulnerable to artillery fire, and it doesn't seem to be simulated in the game to any great extent. And they're sort of not impervious to infantry, but their collapse are only too wide. I mean, Austrians maybe had basically a block, sort of an alternative square shape. But a usual infantry square, as you'd expect, like sort of as represented there, it's only 2 or 3 lines deep, and the firepower wouldn't be enough for infantry in line or to withstand the column. I don't care what anybody says, that's what I believe. Not saying I'm right, prove me wrong. Anyway, let's carry on. Didn't really move anyone here, so hopefully now, finally, we can get some of this cavalry in on the action. My poor guard cavalry. Been absolutely decimated. Look at those Mamelukes. They didn't really do anything. They weren't involved at all. They got shot up by all that artillery here and over there. So what can we do then? So we will charge with them. Anyone here? No, but Colonel Anonymous can go ahead and leave this charge. Okay, we took some. Right, let's try and get some guns first before we try that battery. Can't see anything there, but it's good cover. Them. These guns, what can they see? Nothing. Oh, they can. 10 and 50, so the bottom lot. What can they see? Pretty much nothing at all. Right, let's finally get this battery. Colonel Anonymous, another Colonel Anonymous, one behind. 3 squadrons, all fresh. Come on. I'm chuffed with that. That's them sorted out. Still got all that to deal with, but that one was causing an awful lot of problem. I think there was 3 horse batteries there. Murat, come on lads, you can get rid of them. Or not. Or not. They're disordered. They are... Klein can take 2 squadrons and try where Murat failed. Okay. And then I moved all these guys into position. I do have these fresh sort of pelotons, half squadron sort of thing. Push them back. I don't really want to advance much more until I sort of establish a front line. See what he's doing with his cavalry. Bring that cavalry back, maybe down here somewhere out of the way, before I actually do anything. Guard cavalry, go on then. I don't think I can charge. I've moved them around already. But okay. No, they can't do anything. Never mind. Okay, so I think we're pretty much... We've done everything there that needs to be done. Not a huge amount more. As I said, I'm trying to establish a front line now. Originally, that was my original plan, I'm sure it was. To have some sort of front line around Sir Parlin Klein Salzgarten in this area. In this case, it's a fluid front line. Haven't actually managed to get anything yet. After I was surprised at Klein Salzgarten. I'm trying to keep this windmill in the centre and Eylau itself. I've repulsed an attack up here by this windmill cloth in sort of the gap between the Prussians and the Russians. I found some Prussian infantry around Schloditten. Moved my cavalry up north and preparing I think it's a whole corps that I've got up here to attack. So that's the big situation. So it's not looking too bad. A couple of scares here and there, but not doing too bad at all. So I'm going to move that cavalry, like I said, up here. Just get them into a better position. It's a bit boring to watch, and I'll catch you on the next turn. And on to turn 54 out of 80. Slowly but surely getting there. What, 3/4 of the way-ish through by now. And we've got that blizzard finally come in, and we've got two hexes, 200 meters visibility. My opponent, he's not enjoying it as much as he thought he would. He said it's not World War II. And it's completely different. He doesn't quite get it, so he did ask me for some feedback. I will do at the end of it, where I'll wash up and go through everything. I'll have sort of one last episode on the last turn sort of thing, but just because he won't watch this, he hasn't got YouTube, he's not really internet savvy and hasn't got Facebook and stuff, just because he's old and retired, but you know, that's the prerogative. But I will send him the videos as well on a memory stick, or on a hard disk, there's so many of them, and break it down, and he will watch them, and I'll tell him about this episode, because where he's gone wrong, he is playing it as a game. I'm not saying I'm the best player in the world at all. For me, it's not about winning or losing, it is about having fun. I get my kicks out of Napoleonic PC wargaming, hence the page and all that. I love the planning, I love the units, I love the system, and you know, I try to play it as realistically as possible. And the house rules we've got certainly aren't simple, that we go for historical accuracy rather than playing it as a game, if that makes sense. It's not a simulation as such, but I think it's more because the guys I play with love their tabletop stuff. I haven't come from a tabletop background, but I do love this hex, and I love the GTA system and what it offers. He seems to be playing it almost like a real-time strategy game, clicking, pointing. He doesn't really care about your movement or his movement. Everything's a little bit hodgepodge. If he had come at me, say in Eylau, with infantry, with guns backing up, or he held off a little bit and softened me up with artillery, it would have made a huge difference, absolute huge difference, backed up with cavalry. He's used his cavalry quite well, he used them en masse in many places, but then he just sort of attacked where he could attack. He didn't have any system, it was just attack for the sake of attacking. Hasn't always understood the fact that when you've got big bunched up units like that, the cannon, my artillery, will hit, or it will be spread out throughout each unit. It's not like you take the one in front, let's say these Vladimir units. So what else can I say about it? He's caused me problems. Sometimes it's harder to play against someone like this, just because it's a little bit random, it's a little bit unexpected. They do things that you wouldn't expect, and against the run of play sort of thing. He's thrown basically everything at me where I was wanting to attack, and it put me off guard. Remember, my plan in the beginning was to attack, and I've had to defend for most of this game, which is good. It's made for some entertainment. It's a good challenge. If I was to play against, I'm going to say one of my regular PBM players, not a proper player, that's not the right word, but just somebody that plays the game the way I do, and we have similar sort of mindsets with it, they wouldn't have done a lot of what he's done, particularly with movement and lack of combined arm tactics. That would be my biggest two observations from him. Saying that, it's a system, it's a game. If you want to play it as a game, that's absolutely fine. If you want to get a points picture, it's absolutely fine. It's not, doesn't concern me. I've often said to my partners, I don't care if I lose. It's a learning experience. You learn every day, and some players, they'll play you and they'll just blitz you. Worse than this chap here, they'll just put stacks of 2,000 units, blitz you with cavalry, doesn't matter if they're disordered or not, and they are unrealistic to play against. You won't have personally a good experience against them, but they are very hard to defend against people that play it as a game, if you like, because there's not a lot you can do. It wasn't a done thing back then. It wasn't the way wars were fought. It's a lot more slow and steady than this scenario has actually been played out, I would say. And because I try and be historically accurate, it's very hard to play against somebody like that. And if that's how they want to play it, that's how they want to play it. And hence, I keep going on saying it, but that's why we have house rules, to eliminate some of these gamey elements that aren't realistic. But there we go. So, long story short, there'll be a feedback episode at the very last episode. So what did he actually do during that turn? During that turn, he charged me up here with his cavalry, and I assume there's some cavalry still there. There's infantry we saw somewhere around Schloditten, around here. Russian cavalry's disappeared. Okay, we can't see anything. He attacked me here. Didn't get very far. Same there. He started withdrawing, but then also attacking. He took a gun from somewhere from there, I think. Yep. He pressed on. He did finally manage to take that battery in the end, and we're going to have to try and win that back now. More routed troops. They were at B there, Legers. They haven't done very well around that windmill now, so we're going to have to take it back. He turned that gun around there. They're isolating, disordered. Oh no. Going to get punished around there with these guns. Try and get these guys disordered. Okay, well, I'll have to sort all that out. I'm going to establish a front line around here. Maybe move some artillery. What's the weather saying? 33% chance. Heavy snow by 15:30. Game time is 14:50. 10-3. So we've got a few turns that we can use this blizzard to hide our movements. His cavalry all sort of went up to this corner by the look of it, so again I'm going to tidy up here. I'm withdrawing my cavalry. They deserve a well-earned rest, I think, after that's pretty much 50 odd turns that they've been involved. And yeah, that's the plan, basically tidying up. So there'll be a lot of movement with not much combat at the end of this one. So that was very much, because of the visibility, a tidying up round. Established a strong position in Eylau up here. Let's have a look, where are we? Up here. Got a nice strong position, got more artillery coming up. and we're going to be in a nice strong position to deal with whatever's there. I've put troops in line formation because I'm expecting cavalry to come up, and that gives me an awful lot of firepower. It'd be suicidal to attack this position, basically. He's got to go over a river through a lot of obstructed hexes. Got a skirmisher line there. I've got more artillery in place, more artillery coming up. It would be suicidal. So I'm in a strong position, and I've said to let artillery do its thing. Got cavalry overlooking this crossing here in case he decides to come back. Sorting my cavalry out around the Windcloth Mill up here, and bringing troops back. First combat, and probably the only combat we can actually do. We can't do a lot of combat on this turn. Let's get them into line and fire on them. Oh, we can't, can we? They're disorders we can. So yeah. I was just saying, yeah, I'm going to withdraw people and bring them back into sort of nice, strong positions. I can't do anything there. I'm going to have hand-to-hand fighting. If I put you in column, not enough to go. Next turn then. Put the guard back there. I'm going to tell you what. I don't really like attacking in line. Or melee in line, it's not the best. You can go in a column, soften you up with some artillery first, and hopefully that'll be enough. No. Okay. Surprising. Get that big stack. 400, no, I won't attack. I know it is the guard. No. Disordered, big stack. Oh, go on. Who should we get in there? We'll get Le Marois. And they're in line. Okay. See if we can't push them back. Okay, good. One gun. That's all we've got left here. I did bring these guys round and hit me on the flank. Who have we got? Some skirmishers and some light infantry and Berthier. We'll get them there ready for the next turn. I'm going to turn these guys around actually, because then he has to go around the side and hopefully with him there. Can't do anything here, can't do anything here, so it's up to the cavalry to try and deal with this lot up here. Oh, and we can't charge in the snow, can we? Okay, plan B. Can't really do anything about them guys being there as well. Or them, they're disordered. It's not going that well around this windmill knoll at all. They move forward, no. They're disordered, they can't attack. They can attack, but we're attacking about 800. I'll tell you what, we'll attack with them, and we'll attack with these guys. Probably overstat. Oh, but we're not playing overstat rule. Never mind. Okay, it was a hard attack, hard fought. Withdrawing these troops as best I can. They're going to get hit on the way back, but hopefully now it's just only one hit. Bring them all back behind here. Maybe have some skirmishers up on that high ground just to keep an eye. They need to come out of it. They're knackered. They're depleted. They definitely need to come out of the fight. Withdrawing troops here as well. So as I said, it's a pretty boring turn. Artillery, no, because it's only 2 hexes. Always want to say 2 miles, 2 hexes. And then started the withdrawal of my cavalry, as we can see here. So slowly but surely I'm going to bring all my cavalry back up here. We do have a charge with the Mamelukes and some chasseurs chevals though, which we'll take advantage of. And my last movement over on this side, on the far east side around Becarton, was I bumped into some dragoons. Now we can melee with them, but it got me thinking. Guard cavalry, again, need to give them a mission. I always like to use them. They are, when they've regrouped here, they're going to start their way coming around this long way on the road into this town of Sardinen. Maybe come up this road, but he does have, those guns are basically on this high ground here. He's obviously got some cavalry here. But I'll see if I can spend 10, 12, 15 turns. Okay, that's going to get us close to the end. Oh no, it won't actually. What's that, 65, 70? Anyway, they're going to go on a long mission around, using cover, hiding. On the way they'll be resting, reorganising, come around to maybe Lushan, something like that, and use some ground here to attack these batteries from the rear, and maybe a double-pronged attack from this side with infantry, and these batteries at Bekarten. So that is the plan there. Let's move these troops out. The Cossacks have found them now, so they're going to be on their tails. Okay, so that's the plan. That's the end of that turn. It was a little bit boring, not much combat, but I'm going to make use of this blizzard, so hopefully the turns will be a little bit shorter for the time being. And yeah, that's about it.